Hi, and welcome to NCBA's Coffee Break, where we dive into the stories and experiences of leaders in the legal community. I'm your host, Nathan Willner, and today we have a really special guest, the immediate past president of NCBA, Barb Nilsen. Barb, it's a pleasure to have you with us. So thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Nathan. It's great to be here.
So why don't we go ahead and jump right in? Barb, why is serving as an NCBA leader such an important part of your professional life? Um, And how does it affect your law practice?
Mm, Good question. So I was appointed to the board of directors back in April 2017, and my appointment was by the then current president, Harvey Moore. I had spent previous years on committees, co-chairing committees, education being one everyone knows is very near and dear to me, as well as I chaired the 2016 Fall Conference. At the time, back then, we were very much a working board, and I was really provided an opportunity to make an impact within our organization and in our industry by being appointed to the board of directors. As my time on the board and then to the executive committee progressed, it also really allowed me to help others and support them to grow the way that I was supported throughout all of my years in NCBA. I've also developed so many friendships along the way. Shout out to Britt. I watched hers. I know Britt gave me one. Um, and it's interesting with NCBA. It's this feeling of camaraderie amongst a large group of attorneys who typically find themselves in a competitive nature.
And it's so true. And it's wonderful to hear about how great that experience is that I think that people don't realize how close these relationships become and how valuable they are, both professionally and personally. And speaking of your practice, give us a little rundown about how many attorneys you have, what states you operate in, how long you've been an NCBA member.
Yeah, so we have 64 attorneys and we practice in 9 states: Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas, Tennessee, and Arizona. Been an NCBA member since I started practicing in 2006. As my firm was a member, I've had the honor of working with two past presidents of the association over my career. So it's been a very exciting time.
Yeah, no, and it's great that you have that kind of historical perspective, but all the work that you did in moving the organization forward. Um, so speaking about like when you get started in this world, from a law school perspective, and we've been doing this outreach to different law schools and talking to different law students, and it's been so rewarding. So, what kind of advice would you give a third-year law student?
So I think I would say, you never know where your career path is going to lead. And I think it's really important to build relationships and stay connected with your professors, mentors, classmates. They'll provide you guidance throughout your career, and you never really know where you're going to end up. We like to say in our industry, we usually stay within our industry, and we're a small group, so everyone kind of knows everyone. And my other advice would be, if you ever find yourself in the debt collection world, you know where to find me. I'm always here to help.
Well, that's definitely great advice, and maybe you could share a specific moment or experience during your time as an NCBA leader that's had a profound effect on you.
Yeah, so this one's actually really important to me. I would say that it was being sworn in as the second woman president of NCBA. Um, I would say in what's typically a male-dominated industry and profession, it's really an honor to follow the path that Joanne Needleman, who was our first woman president, created for women in our industry. And when I think back to my time on the board, I remember when I was appointed to my seat in 2017, And I had a conversation with some of the staff members that were staff members at NCBA then, and some are even still with us today, which is phenomenal. And they had pointed out to me that when I was appointed to my seat, it had provided for equal seats for men and women on the board for the first time, and what that meant or and what that portrayed, to not only the staff but potentially to membership, um, and everybody else. And I didn't realize it at the time, um, but it really is important to me that you create this path for future leaders.
Yeah, and that's really inspiring. And even today, when I attend NCBA conferences, I can't help but notice how much the organization has grown, both in its depth of knowledge, but more in the how diverse the audience now is, both in age and demographics. And it wasn't like that when I started. And so you're definitely part of that movement to open up this tent to anyone who's practicing in this area, and to let people know about this opportunity that they may have not thought was available to them. So, that's a great segue to how your leadership role at NCBA has affected both your personal life, but also how has it approached, how has it changed your approach to leadership in the firm and how you deal with other people?
Yeah, so I think my involvement on the NCBA board of directors, and keep in mind, when I said I was appointed in 2017, I've spent some time. It's really allowed me to work with a diverse group of leaders, and those leaders all have different leadership styles. We always joke about what happens when you get a group of lawyers in a room, and picture that at a board meeting. I really think the involvement has made me more intentional in my leadership approach, and I think it's led me to focus on clear communications, shared goals, um, and really identifying the strength in others, especially when you work with such a diverse group. Um, I think it also reinforces the importance of being an active listener.
Yeah. And I really think that one of the things that if I may, just watching you in your leadership role, how you've really encouraged other people to get involved. And I really think that's what makes a strong leader, is to see the strengths in people and encourage them to utilize them. Because a lot of people, may have imposter syndrome or whatever, and they don't really even notice how much they have to share with colleagues and the profession as a whole. So again, this is a coffee break. So this is we're getting to the end of our cup of coffee, so to speak. And just want to thank you for sharing your insights. It's been a pleasure having you on the show, and definitely been fantastic to have you as president of the organization, or now past president. So I want to just thank you personally for the work that you've done to grow this organization to the level that it is today. So just thank you for a great conversation.
Thank you, Nathan. It's definitely been my pleasure.
Yeah. So, and with that, I just want to thank our listeners for joining us for another episode of NCBA's Coffee Break. Barb, hopefully you'll come back in the future and we'll talk a little bit more. Until then, everyone should just stay curious and keep learning. And thank you for joining us today. So have a great day.
Thank you.